Greetings, gamer guys and gals. Welcome to part 29 of my Pokemon Scarlet Let's Play. And in today's episode, we are going to find ourselves just messing about the Academy for a few. We don't care. It's the Scarlet book, the mysterious red tome. Do you want to read it? Sure. Which section would you like to read? Alright, so we actually have a boatload of things to look up. So we're going to go ahead. This whole entire episode is basically going to be a readathon and just checking out what's going on in the Academy. I'm sorry if that's not exactly what you were hoping for in this episode. However, we're going to do it just because it would be interesting to learn these things. So the Great Crater of Paldea is our first, and it says, a photograph from the survey team's point of ingress to the crater, which is visible in the background. Luck favored us with fine weather, making for a smooth outset, but clouds obscured the crater's distant depths, where the treasure of legend is said to lie. Now, onward and downward. Okay. The adventure into Area Zero. Within the Great Crater of Paldea lies the mysterious Area Zero, a place home to such landscapes, such plant life, and such Pokemon as we had never seen. It is inhospitable to human life, and as such I suspect something altogether unknown to humankind sleeps in its depths. The adventure to Area Zero, a photograph of a spot where the survey team rested on day 2 of the expedition. Note the strange symbols inscribed in the ground here. Were they left by explorers in the time of the Paldean Empire, or could they be older still? Regardless, they seemed as if they must hold some meaning. That looks pretty satanic ritual, if I'm being honest. Alright, Area Zero, cartograph. Ledges from a spiral down the inner walls of Area Zero, offering a path of descent. Vegetation and sources of water are here as well. Legends tell that precious stones or wondrous fruits have long slept in Area Zero's depth, protected by some manner of guardian. This looks very wild. So this, it sort of looks like a kind of map of Area Zero. Pokemon of Area Zero. Alright, so it's showing us Pokemon we've seen before. Sketches by a survey team member. Surprisingly, the Pokemon species we observed in the upper strata of Area Zero seemed a little different from those seen outside the crater. Now and then we heard unfamiliar cries from the lower strata. Alright, so Monsters of Area Zero. As we descended further into Area Zero, we began to catch glimpses of mysterious Pokemon, though we wondered if these huge, ferocious beasts were indeed Pokemon at all. One of our team suffered a brutal blow from such a beast and was mortally wounded, forcing us to retreat for a time. A member of the survey team captured this photograph by chance. I noticed a passing resemblance to the Pokemon known as Donphan, yet differences such as its sheer size and the shape of its back set it apart, as do its great tusks. Herba Mystica. Area Zero was home to wondrous herbs that instantly impart vigor when eaten. We dubbed them Herba Mystica and attempted to grow some in areas around Paldea. However, before we could harvest, the herbs were eaten by Pokemon, which in turn grew large and strong. We call these Titan Pokemon. And let's move down to mysterious plates. During our descent into Area Zero, we came across a buried metal plate inscribed with a large symbol. We attempted to shave off a piece of the plate, but failed to even leave a scratch. Even determining the nature of the metal seems beyond modern science. We know not why the inscription was made, let alone how. It almost sounds like they're going the way of aliens with this game. Like everything having to do with the Great Crater in Area Zero is alien technology. Alright, the legendary treasure. Countless days into our descent, we reached at last the very depths of the Great Crater. There we found a cave with formations of gemstones, shining blindingly bright as far as we could see. Perhaps that strange light itself is the guardian said to watch over treasure deep within the crater. This looks like terrestrialization here. the imagined Pokemon. Oh my gosh, what is that? That looks like, seriously, a mix between Entei, Raikou, and Suicune. Anybody else notice that? Definitely has like the Suicune head covering, but the face is Entei. The fiery like mane is Entei. The back looks like Raikou, and so do the paws, kind of. And then he's got like the little gusty swirls that Suicune has. A drawing of a fantastical Pokemon is envisioned by our sketch artist. The size and ferocity of the strange Pokemon that dwell in the Area Zero's lower reaches tickled the artist's imagination, prompting the sketch of what other species that inhabited these depths look like. Alright, so I have seen nothing about this Pokemon in existence in this game, so I am very curious as to wondering if, like, when they do DLC for this game, because we all know it's coming. Instead of third versions of games now, what they're doing is making 2 versions, but DLC for both. Some people don't like that, but in all honesty, it's not really any seriously different than buying a third game, but now you don't have to play a third game in order to get the full experience, I guess. But this looks like something that would probably come in a DLC. I've not seen any of this before. A phantom memory. During our exploration of Area Zero's depths, I, Heath, strayed from the team and was later found unconscious. When awoken, I could only recall speaking with someone in an unfamiliar place, as if in a dream. I was found holding the page shown here. The handwriting is my own, but I have no memory of writing this. Looks very strange. Don't really know what's going on there or what that is. Maybe we'll have some information about it soon. Our generous sponsor. The author Heath pictured with the director of Naranja Academy. The Academy's generous funding made the Area Zero expedition possible, and the data gathered has been shared with the Academy in hopes that it will aid in the institution's research work and foster future generations of scholars and scientists. About the author. Heath, author of the Scarlet book, shown here with his partner Cyclizar, a natural historian as well as a writer, he was chosen for the Area Zero expedition and penned this account upon returning from the great crater Paldea. Cyclizar aided the expedition as well by bearing the team's luggage and equipment. What a good Pokemon. A something Pokemon. Very strange. What is that exactly? I see a crown. This sort of looks like a globe. Alright, so a disc Pokemon. I don't know what this is saying. It says, while separated from the research team in the crater's depths, I found a strange entity. Whether it was a Pokemon or even alive at all, I know not. It bore a what? With layers of overlapping hexagons? It bore a skull or a... I don't know what that would say. And gleamed brighter still than gemstone. Viewed as a whole, it wrestled a mysterious, brilliant disc. I can't get what some of those words are saying, but this is very strange looking. And then we have one more, I believe. Oh, no, it's just put away. Alright, so that's all in that book. I don't know. Okay, so there are some other books. Academy Rules and Regulations. We'll look at it, but dress, hair. Students shall wear their academy-provided uniforms at all times. Hairstyles left to students' discretion. But why, though? What's the point of a uniform if nobody looks the same? Other, students should behave properly and strive not to inconvenience others. Addendum. During their independent study, students may travel freely throughout the Paldea region. However, the Great Crater of Paldea remains strictly off-limits due to safety hazards. Okay. this book is... There's a book entitled Student Registry. Do you want to read it? Sure. This thick book holds a thorough record of the Academy's students and when they attended. Wait, what's this? Some of the recent pages have parts torn out, so you can't read them. Some secretive stuff going on here. Let's look for more books. I do like having a free-flowing camera, but sometimes it's like not fast enough, and there's, from what, I don't really think there is a way to get the camera to settle on something immediately, which is kind of strange. Or make me change, like for instance, if I wanted to change view 180 degrees to what my character's actually looking at, I would just have to turn around. There's a book entitled Status Conditions in Catching Pokémon. Do you want to read it? Sure. Dealing damage to a wild Pokémon makes it easier to catch in a Pokéball, and inflicting status conditions on the Pokémon can make it easier still. Yes, we already know this, actually. Types and moves. No. Alright, so I'm assuming the rest of this is just going to be useless information, but we're looking at it to find out. The Naranja Academy School Song. Sure, let's read this. This is new. Over Grand Mesagoza stands our dear Naranja, where we enter as seeds and leave in fruition. Our minds wide as the crater for wise educators, to fill with strength, greatness, and tradition. Teach us well, O oranges of Paldea. To fill us with strength, greatness, and tradition. I'm not so sure Paldea's actual traditions would have people looking like freaks. Let's be real. That stuff is just nonsensical modern new age garbage. Alright, so this book, nope, we're not reading that either. I don't know that we're going to have much of anything else to read, but we're going to look real quick. How to become a champion. I mean, I guess we could read this. For Pokemon trainers who are out to grow stronger and wiser, there's no higher calling than becoming a champion. To reach that lofty rank, you must pass a test administered at Paldea's official Pokemon League headquarters. In Paldea, anyone, and in fact, any number of people, can become a champion regardless of factors like age. That means you can too, as long as you've got the strength and wisdom to set a leaderly example for your fellow trainers. Your path to becoming a champion lies in the Pokemon gyms throughout Paldea. Once you've defeated the 8 gym leaders in battle and earned their gym badges, we look forward to your knock on the Pokemon League's door. So, it's actually unfortunate that I did not do this first. I wish. Appreciating Sunflora. Very interesting book title. I don't really appreciate Sunflora. But this is probably all stuff I should have did in the first place before I had set out on my journeys. But I had no idea. In Artisan, a town alive with flowers and artwork, there is a special and abiding love for the sun Pokemon Sunflora, whose sunny, floral figure and bright smile never fail to warm hearts. Denizens of Artisan have long revered nature, the subject of much art made in the town, and the nurturing sun. Sunflora embodies qualities of both, which is why the town has a tradition of gathering and caring for these Pokemon. I like that little bit of backstory, though I don't like Sunflora. Festivals of Paldea. Sure, let's read it. The Paldean town of Cortando, widely known for its olive production, is also home to the peculiar Olive Harvest Festival. Participants try to usher in a plentiful harvest by rolling large balls that resemble olives into a goal. It's said that the more olive balls are rolled into the goal, the more abundant next year's crop will be. All comers, including tourists, are welcome to join the olive roll. So, reader, do give it a try yourself if you're in the town for the festival. Pretty cool. There's a magazine entitled A Culture. It's the June issue. Do you want to read it? I'm not really of an occultist man, but we'll read it. An article caught your eye. Enigmas of Paldea, file number 06. Brute Bonnet. Amoonguss meets dinosaur? This bizarre creature is said to combine traits of dinosaurs with those of the Pokemon Amoonguss. This is kind of weird, but also funny, because it's almost like a tongue-in-cheek reference to the origin of Pokemon. The origin of Pokemon was basically like dinosaurs. That's why there's Rhydon, Venusaur, Aerodactyl, Kabutops. All these are dinosaur creatures or ancient creatures. So, very strange, very interesting. I like this, but then I also don't, because it's basically kind of saying that like dinosaurs exist in the Pokemon world as animals, or have existed. But the problem is from my understanding, all animals in Pokemon are Pokemon. There are no animals aside from Pokemon. So why would there be dinosaurs aside from Pokemon? You see what I'm saying here? It's kind of a thing that I don't really like, even though it's just a reference. It's named after a fierce mushroom creature of matching description that appears in the renowned Scarlet book. Brute Bonnet certainly resembles a Mungus, though with its own unique twist. Its gigantic stature and seemingly low intelligence combine to make it a savage, powerful fighter. So we have not seen anything that would possibly look like Brute Bonnet. Art, the scenic route. Do you want to read it? Sure. This month we're taking the scenic route over to Artisan to see Surrendering Sunflora by Brassius, the verdant virtuoso. This humble columnist wonders if ever a work has so aptly captured ennui and langueur as this installation. The sculptures are every bit as surreal as the title, prompting great minds to debate just what has sent the Sunflora into a state of surrender. But though the meaning may elude us, the reader is urged to visit Artisan and see for himself. Very weird. Alright, so that's everything here. Well, we could actually go up another level, I think. Is this the last level? I think so. So yeah, we're going to be spending all day doing this. Galar, a history. Ooh. We made for the town of Stow-on-Side, which sits tucked away in the mountains, to study an ancient mural painted upon a wall of rock. But our plans, and the mural itself, were shattered by an attack from a Caparaja. Yet behind the mural, what should we find but a pair of Pokemon statues, one bearing a sword, the other a shield. These statues, older than any artifact we'd yet discovered, called into question everything we knew about the legendary hero. So the legendary hero had some kind of effect on Paldea as well? Very strange. A culture. We can go ahead and see this. File number 8, Slitherwing, a prehistoric Volcarona revived? There have been previous few sightings reported of the ultra-mysterious Slitherwing, a being whose name is taken from that of a similar-seeming creature described in the ever-puzzling Scarlet book. Slitherwing shares traits with Volcarona, so some theorize that it may have been revived from fossils from a prehistoric era that we have discussed in these pages. However, no Volcarona fossils of that era are known to have been found. So we're actually learning a lot of strange information about Pokemon we have definitely never seen before. There's a book entitled Find Foods from Far Away. Do you want to read it? Sure. Have you chanced upon Pewter Crunchies, the fabled signature dish of the Kanto region's Pewter City? The snack's rugged, browned appearance makes them almost rock-like at first glance. Indeed, Pewter Crunchies were inspired by the rock-type Pokemon for which the Pewter City Gym is renowned. Unfortunately, their forbiddingly tough appearance and surprisingly thin flavor have kept them from attaining true popularity. Very interesting. I love this. Not gonna lie. Like, I wish there was more information than even this for, like, each region. A culture, sure. Number 9, Great Tusk, a living relic of the dinosaur era? In one arid corner of Paldea, there have been reports of a mysterious life form. It's said to resemble a Donphan at first glance, albeit one with gigantic tusks, tough scales, and an aggressive disposition. Leading theories hold that this being is nothing less than a living relic of the dinosaur era, but no one can say for sure. Apparently it's called Great Tusk after the name of a strange being that was written about in the mysterious Scarlet book. So we've actually seen this Pokemon. This Pokemon is listed in the Pokemon Scarlet book downstairs, as well as it was literally the Great Tusk Titan. So again, with the whole dinosaur thing, and I'm not trying to go like off on a super duper long tangent about this, but here's the thing. According to Pokemon lore, Arceus created all things, which, you know, we all know that's not real. We know who God is. Arceus is definitely not it. But for Pokemon lore, we have Arceus creating all things, right? So why would he create an era that was before Pokemon, but of dinosaurs that were not Pokemon, right? Doesn't make too much sense, especially considering that there are a lot of, like, fossil Pokemon, and they are all Pokemon, revived fossils. They were Pokemon then, they're Pokemon now. There's a magazine entitled A Culture. It's the October issue. Do you want to read it? Sure. This is number 10. A billion-year-old Jigglypuff? Screamtail. Somewhere in a Paldean forest, it said, lurks Screamtail, a being with Jigglypuff's own endearing puffball appearance, but also a ferocious aggression that leads it to attack anyone who comes near. Its primitive appearance and savage nature have prompted rumors that it could be a Jigglypuff from 1 billion years ago. It's named after a creature in the Scarlet book that is described as having a distinctive tail and scream. So the Scarlet book does not actually contain anything that is being said here, except for a picture of Great Tusk. Charcadet's Adventures. Do you want to read it? Sure. Charcadet, the Fire Child Pokemon, may have been little, but did that stop it from being a mighty hero? Not one bit. When a mean Gengar came along to play tricks and scare people, Charcadet stood tall. Rawr, hi-ya, it cried. But soon, brave little Charcadet got bound up tight in Gengar's long tongue. How could the Fire Child Pokemon get out of this mess? Just as things started to grow hazy before Charcadet's eyes, the sound of a voice came. 2 paths lie before you, young Charcadet, it is said. Choose between these 2 sets of armor, and assume a new form so you can defeat Gengar. And sure enough, 2 sets of armor appeared before Charcadet. To be continued. Yes, so there's the malicious armor, and then there's the auspicious armor, I think. So either one turns Charcadet into, the malicious armor turns him into a fire ghost, and the auspicious turns him into a fire poison, or no, fire psychic, sorry. Either form has a secondary type that is super effective against Gengar, which is pretty interesting. There's a magazine entitled Paldean Sports Monthly. Do you want to read it? Sure, but I care zero for sports, so let's hope this is a good one. The Sub-Zero Shredder has done it again. The world's 2nd-ranked snowboarder put on a clinic at the Montenevera Cup, claiming his 6th straight win in Paldea's major competitions. No one's been able to scratch that crown yet. If you think you got what it takes, come take me on, this ice-cold athlete declared from the winner's podium. And you could just feel his rivals steel their resolve. We'll see how things unfold in 2 weeks at the Glaciadio Mountain Cup. And that's, I believe, where he receives his great injury, is it not? There's a magazine entitled Sweet Truth. Do you want to read it? Sure. This tasty pastry wonder is undergoing a popularity sugar rush that's got lines out of the door all day long. It's Pastry Soapberry, located in Cortando, Olive Central, at the foot of a very large tree. At the heart of it is Katie, the proprietor, who inherited the shop from family and keeps its ovens hard at work. Soapberry's bug-type Pokemon theme is on full display in its pastry lineup. They're a treat to see and to eat. So if Paldea was real and I lived in the Paldea region, Cortando is likely where I would live, just because I am a huge fan of bugs. In fact, I fully intend on, in the post-game of this game, after I've already completed all like necessary content for recording, gathering together a couple of competitive teams and doing some online battling and showing it I'm not saying I'm gonna win. I'm not really the greatest Pokemon player ever, but I have dabbled in some competitive. And one of my teams I plan on making is a full-on bug team. Already have the lineup, what their abilities are, their move stats are gonna be, everything. And it's gonna be fun. There's a magazine entitled The Musician's Register. Do you want to read it? Sure. 4 decades into her career, Rhyme, the MC of R.I.P., whose flows are said to bring the dead to their feet, maintains her huge following and her rap legend status. The theme of death pervades her work, and not just because of her bars slay. So this is cool. So she's been doing this for 4 decades. When Rhyme was in her teens, her dear puppy Pokemon passed away, and she poured her grief into a song. When she sang it, her partner came back to her as a ghost Pokemon. In that moment, the rapper we know today was born. Aw, that little Pokemon, that's her Greavard. There's a magazine entitled A Culture. It's the July issue. Do you want to read it? Sure. An article caught your eye. Number 7, Sandy Shocks, a magneton with a 10,000-year lifespan? Some scientists claim that this mysterious being is a magneton that has lived for 10,000 years. It has been sighted numerous times in Paldea's more arid regions, but there are no reports of it ever having been caught. It's said that Sandy Shocks is an aggressive sort, and that some people who've seen it have been attacked as well. It takes its names from a beast with a matching description in the era-defining Scarlet book. Alright, so that's literally all for the books. We've read every last one from what I can tell. Let's see, interested in any classes? Good morning, Master Z. What class would you like to take? So, from what I understand, these classes can all give you, like, you take them, and then you take them until you get the courses to a certain number, so they're all at 1, and you get rewards from them. None of the rewards are substantial, so I unfortunately am not going to be taking them. Let's see. So we got school store, biology lab, art room, home ec room, nurse's office, schoolyard, your dorm room. So I actually really want to go to school store. That sounds cool. Alright, so I wonder if there's anything we can purchase here that we can't purchase elsewhere. Hello! Why not have a browse, my dear? We've got all sorts of handy items. Sure. Alright, so she wasn't lying. There are all sorts of handy items here. We actually don't really need any of this stuff, because I fully intend on getting more, like, revival herbs, and that's pretty much the only healing item we need. We have tons of stuff. Like, it's actually pretty abysmal. We go to the bag, we have so many healing items. We have revives up the wazoo. We even still have a few revival herbs, but I kind of want more. Let's see. We've got elixirs, ethers, full heals. How many full heals do we have? 9. Yeah, we don't need any more of those. But yes, I do want more revival herbs. We're going to go to our dorm room. It says, ooh, so there's exclamation marks by those, so it's very likely that we need to actually go there. Alright, so we are in the dorm room. I have a feeling that there's going to be nothing in here of value or worth. But I just wanted to check it just in case there was something changed. And it does not look like it. So we're going to go ahead and check out each one of these areas that are exclamation marked. We'll probably go to the director's office last. Ah, hello, hello! Have you gotten used to things here at the Academy, Zeke? Sure. Great, glad to see you're having fun. Oh, have you been using the Pokédex app? I'm the one who made it, you know. Every time someone uses the app, catches a Pokemon, that data gets sent to me. It's really helping with my Pokemon research, so be sure to catch any new Pokemon you find, filling out your Pokédex. For your first goal, let's aim for, say, 30. Register 30 Pokemon in your app. Let me know once you've done so. Okay. I see you've already registered 30 species of Pokemon to your Pokédex for me. Wow, so you caught this kind of Pokemon and this one? All this data, that is the best. Sorry about that. I got a little excited there. But I get the feeling that you're going to be a great help in my research. Here, take these. Consider it my way of saying thanks. Oh, false swipe. Okay. You sure are good at catching Pokemon, aren't you, Zeke? For your next go, let's aim for 100 species. You're already there. I see you've already registered 100 species of Pokemon to your Pokédex. Wow, little Pokemon, big Pokemon. Whoa, you have even data on this specific Pokemon size. So much data, so much to analyze. Sorry about that, I got a little excited there. My Pokemon research is moving forward at a great pace thanks to your efforts. Here, take these, consider my way of saying thanks. 20 Ultra Balls. I appreciate it. You're a natural at Pokemon catching. 200 species. I know that's a tall order, but keep tossing those Pokeballs and don't give up. We will actually get there probably by the time we get to the end game, because, you know, it's only 15 more Pokemon, but I doubt I'm catching very much more than that, other than, obviously, whatever Pokemon I need to catch for, like, specifically my teams that I'm going to be making, because I want to make a singles team, a doubles team, and then a bug team, as well as 2 legendary teams, a Pokemon and a Scarlet team. So I'm going to have 5 teams in total. And I plan on doing Pokemon battles with all 5. As long as they let me, because the legendary teams might not be allowed. That's why my 3 other teams are not going to have any legendary Pokemon in them whatsoever. But interestingly enough, you know, I actually caught a Slacking. I forgot to show you guys. Let's go to boxes. I put him in my competitive. Let's see. Yeah, so he was one of those glowing Slackings, and he has a ghost Terra type. Now, he has a very unfortunate nature, but you can change that easy as pie. None of the nature mints cost any more than 20,000, which is a lot, but, you know, it's not, you know, crazy. I cannot wait until you get the judge function of this game so I can see how many IVs of his are perfect, or near perfect, because it would be awesome to have him on a team. I plan on having 3 separate teams. None of these are set up in team orientation now, but my singles team will be here, my doubles team will be here, and my bug team will be right here. Which actually means the Ropska here needs to move over because he will be in my bug team. Don't know exactly for sure what I'm going to be doing about doubles team, but I do want to have a skill swap Pokemon alongside of my Slacking. I have always loved that combination, especially because after I use skill swap, as long as my Pokemon's still alive, I can give that skill to one of my enemies, which is brutal. Absolutely brutal. So, either way, we're going to have ourselves a fantastic time battling. And as you saw there, I had a Chansey. Don't remember exactly how I got that Chansey. Might have been through Surprise Trade. Most likely, honestly. I've gotten so many good Pokemon through Surprise Trade. Let's go to Nurse's office. And then we'll go to the Director's office, and that will probably cap off our episode for today. Hey there! Come on in. Everyone's welcome in the nurse's office. What brings you here today? I don't see anything super wrong with you or your Pokemon. Wait, this is your first time here, isn't it? Yes. Surely is. Oh, so I guess you transferred in recently. You must be Zeke, right? Everyone's been talking about you. I've heard all kinds of rumors. Apparently you fell off a cliff right after enrolling in the academy, and even picked a fight with Team Star? Oh yeah, you started your treasure hunt thing right. Come tell me about anything super interesting you find out there in your adventures. I'm kind of bored just sitting here and all day. You know, I don't have any classes to teach, and students only come here to skip class. Isn't that right? So yeah, drop by if you can. Deal, deal? You became slightly closer with Nurse Miriam. I don't really understand. But we are going to go to... let's see. Though many of them may just want to talk to... Where students go if they're under the weather. So I'm guessing here, because I still have an exclamation mark here, you're supposed to continue to talk with Miriam. I'm going to talk with her one more time just to see what's going on with that. Hey there, come on in. Everyone's welcome to the nurse's office. Zeke, you have toughened up a bit. Yes. Oh, so you know your toughened stuff, huh? But seriously, you look a bit different. I bet it's because of all the crazy experiences you're having on your treasure hunt. You need to tell me all about them when you're up to. Wow, that's super cool. I sure am jealous of you kids. You get to try out new things every single day. Me, on the other hand, I actually wanted to become a teacher. I'm just a school nurse, you know? I can't teach classes or anything like that. I couldn't pass the certification exam to become an actual health teacher. I took it so many times, but no luck. So here I am, stuck forever in the nurse's office. Oh, sorry. I guess this isn't a very fun thing to talk about. But you're just such a good listener. I find myself telling you all kinds of stuff. I hope you'll still come to see me, even if I talk your ear off like this. Even closer with Nurse Miriam. I don't really know what the point of this is. I'm going to have to look it up at one point. We are going to go to the director's office. See what Clavel wants. Oh, why hello, Master Zeke. How's your treasure hunt coming along? Having all sorts of fun adventures, I hope. Yeah, it's been great. Wonderful, I'm glad to hear it. Do keep in mind that the treasure hunt has no set course or criteria you must follow. Simply go where your heart takes you, and you shall do splendidly. Speaking of such pursuits, there has been something on my mind of late. If I could ask for your expertise on the matter, I would be most grateful. You see, I recently heard a word whose meaning escapes me. I believe it to be some sort of slang. Tell me, what does chugay mean? I have no idea. Is this like actual slang? I mean, granted, I'm 29 years old. I was born in 1993. I'm not exactly some kind of like what people would call a boomer. But I would rather jump off a cliff than be called a zoomer. So, don't know, but let's just say the middle one, being outdated and uncool. I think I understand. For both speaker and recipient, it is not a pleasant word. I take it. The words used by young people these days are quite often beyond my comprehension. But when I learn the meanings behind the words, I find that I feel that much closer to my students. I am most grateful to you for your help on that front. Okay, so all this is like a bonding thing. We're not going to care. Being honest, I don't care about your crazy words, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Let's go to the entrance hall, though. We will go there, not specifically to talk to Nurse Miriam again. She can keep her loneliness to herself. We are going to be capping off this episode and hopefully moving on next episode. Now, again, granted, what we saw here today was just like it's probably like a preamble. All that stuff was supposed to be like a preamble to your journey. However, the way this game plays, and the fact that nobody told me that that was even an option, I just thought to come here to check out these things. I knew about the classes, but I didn't really know about the books. And so it was just more or less like an overall recap of things that we could have taken in, maybe seen, some stuff that you could have got, like for instance the Pokédex stuff. If you're keeping up with your Pokédex, you want to go see homeroom Jacques dude in the biology lab, because he will give you apparently rewards, which is pretty amazing considering that we already get rewards from like collecting our Pokédex anyway. See, like we just got 180 volumes, so we got 10 bags of Stardust. Man, this game wants us to be rich. It's very likely that I will probably get to at least 200, but like I said, it's not likely that I will complete the Pokédex because I'm just not that kind of a completionist. I've done it once before in Sword and Shield, and it took an abysmal amount of hours. Like, an abysmal amount of hours. I was not happy with that. And it had relatively the same amount of Pokemon, and I never completed the DLC Pokédexes in that game. So that just goes to show you my lack of care for that matter. We do have quite a lot of Pokemon already, granted, but not like a crazy amount. So either way, I think we've made some pretty good progress on pretty much everything in this game. Pokédex, the 3 paths, they're all pretty well moving. And for the fact that, like, I've only caught somewhere in the realms of about 15 Pokemon, and I have 185 Pokédex entries from surprise trading, it's pretty insane. Now, granted, I did spend several hours on that, but like I said, I did not really have the setup to record at the time I was vacationing, but I did have my game, and I wanted to play it at least a little bit, so surprise trading just sounded like a great idea. And it was simple. All I did was grab a couple of Pokemon, catch them, and then I would trade. And then whatever I got, I would trade again. And I'd just keep doing that until I got something I wanted to keep. Then I would have to trade something new. So, and that's one of the reasons why my boxes are not filled, because I did not do it that way. But I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe depending on your platform. Comment and share. It is always appreciated, and while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.